It's time for our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week, and tonight we're in Charlotte, North Carolina at Myers Park High School for the second of two regular season meetings in the Greater Charlotte Conference between the Myers Park Mustangs at 16-7 on the year and ranked 6th in the 8A classification, taking on the Sabres of South Mecklenburg. Hi everyone, Kendall Lewis alongside DeAndre Hunt here with you on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week presented by WCCB TV tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina. And let's take a look at that Greater Charlotte Conference and how things stand right now. Myers Park and West Meck in a tie for 7-2. At 7-2 at 1-2 in the conference. South Meck 4-5 in the league standings this year. And of course the Sabres need some help in their RPI and their strength of schedule. A win tonight would go a long way in the regular season finale in Myers Park, trying to keep pace at the top of this league in the Greater Charlotte Conference standings. We'll take a look at our players to watch. First for the Sabres of South Meck, it's Jim Gatehouse, one of the top players in the Charlotte metro area. DeAndre, he goes for almost 21 points a night and 7 rebounds for South Meck. He's got to have some help tonight, though, against a really good Myers Park team.
Yeah, he really does.
On the other side, for Myers Park, a team that's been really good all year with a balanced attack. We'll take a look at their player to watch here in just a moment. You see the student section, Thomas Vickery, over 19 points a game and 7.3 rebounds a game. Does a little bit of everything for the Mustangs of Myers Park as the starting lineups getting set to be introduced on the floor here at Myers Park High School. It is slam-packed wall-to-wall tonight. And two teams that know each other quite well. That student section for Myers Park all the way to the top row tonight here on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. DeAndre, it got loud here in the women's game earlier that came down to the wire, and I can only imagine with these two teams in the regular season finale, this one here could be lively.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd's already kicking and rocking right now, man. It's just introduction, so I'm excited to see how loud it gets during the game, and it's going to be some good hoops.
We mentioned Myers Park 16-7. They've played one of the better strength of schedules in the state at 13.5. In fact, they are they are fourth in strength of schedule in the 8A classification. They're ranked 6th. And the only teams that have played a tougher strength of schedule have been West Charlotte, who is at the top of the 8A classification, as well as Chambers, who's also in that MEC Power 6 conference. And then Jordan High School over in Durham has played just a little bit tougher strength of based on the metrics via max preps than the Myers Park Mustangs. Here we go, ready to tip it off here in our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Awo Sanya will jump it up for Myers Park in the home whites. Jim Gatehouse for South Meck. They're in the road blacks tonight with a red trim down the side, red numbers, red letters. And South Meck wins the tip. Here's Jim Gatehouse. He goes for 21 points tonight. Does a little bit of everything. Number 22 in black. Gatehouse draws attention, and this one goes through the hands of Charlie Parker and out of bounds.
Crowd already rocking.
His student section for Myers Park, loud and proud tonight. They're Myers Park Mustangs in a tie at the top of this Greater Charlotte Conference. Matt Walters surveys the floor, gives it up. Thomas Vickery, our player to watch for the Mustangs tonight. Jamison into the paint, kicks it, open three. It's short, rebound pulled in by the Sabres. Ben Hout trying to get downhill. Kicks it, Gatehouse for three. Short, wants it back. Good skip pass across. And a whistle and a foul as Connor Yett absorbs the contact. And he'll go to the free throw line to shoot a pair for the Sabres.
Yeah, Yett gets in there. Yeah, he gets hacked a bit by number 12, Aosu.
Connor Yett, senior forward for the Sabres, cashes in on the first free throw. Big, strong kid is Connor Yett. Play inside and out for the Sabres. Leaves the second one short. 1 for 2. Sabres are on the board first. A minute and change into the first quarter. Lob, backside, alley-oop for Thomas Vickery.
Oh, man.
That's one way to get the crowd into it. A deflection and a steal. Hall, the lob to Vickery. Can't finish at the rim. Missed it on the doorstep. Off the floor, here's Connor Yett. He'll skip it, looking for Gatehouse. Parker looking for space. Gatehouse hounded by Cash Hall. Here comes the double team. Gatehouse skips it out, Yet he'll set his feet for three. Missed everything, but an offensive rebound by Parker. Connor Yett. Another skip pass to Luke Gavings. And Gatehouse had it poked free. Picks it up off the floor. They'll get it back to Gatehouse at the top. Boy, Gatehouse has a double team coming from everywhere.
The team hasn't got
Gatehouse faces up. He'll try it from three. Misses long. Thomas Vickery the rebound. Back to the top. Jamison on the step through. Can't finish. Offensive board. Open look. Cash Hall. And Gatehouse with a rebound. Good drop off Yet. On the floater, no. Grabs his own miss, goes back up. Had the shot altered, and it's picked up by Rucker Jamison. Deep three. Walters off the back iron. And both teams a little cold here. First couple of minutes of play. Gatehouse trapped in the corner. Parker's shot fake gets into the paint. Catch and shoot three. Off the mark that time from Gavings. Vickery sizing up Parker. He'll drive. Vickery absorbs the contact for two. With Thomas Vickery, a 6'6 junior, a kid that you're going to see at the college level in a couple of years, drawing a lot of attention from college scouts. Gatehouse, logo three. It's short. And Mac Walters the rebound. Hall looked at the three. They'll bounce feed inside. And through contact, Awo Sanya finishes a 6-1 start for the Mustangs of Myers Park and a timeout with 3:33. We'll take it on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. 6-1 start for the Myers Park Mustangs. Thomas Vickery with a couple of buckets. He's got 4 of the first 6 for the Mustangs, DeAndre, of Myers Park. And I think if you're South Meck right here, you really need a bucket coming out of the timeout on this possession just to weather this crowd and this atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And if I was the coach, it would be no question who I wanted to get that bucket. Got to get Gatehouse going.
And Gatehouse 0 for 3 from the field so far. Good head fake for Parker, and he draws the foul from behind.
Parker gets in there.
That's a great shot fake from Parker. Got 2 guys in the air to draw the foul. And he knocks down the first free throw. Second one's up and good. Hall looked at the 3, back out top to Vickery. Kick out. It's good. Max Azevedo off the bench knocks down the 3. Vickery got tripped up. Possession there is going to give it back to Myers Park.
Wiping the floor down a bit after that slip. Scary fall.
Yeah, bodies were hitting the deck all over. They're going to pause for a little perspiration timeout here at Myers Park High School. Second of our doubleheader tonight on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. And I'll tell you what a great crowd. Both schools have turned out. Both student sections on both sides are loud and proud tonight. This has turned into an interesting rivalry in the Charlotte metro area over the years. And these two were a part of the same conference before the realignment. Vickery from deep, can't get it to go. Tapped out. Hall tracks down the loose board. Jamison gets into the paint. Jamison, the finish off the glass. Rucker Jamison, nice move to slither into the paint and finishes. Jim Gatehouse scoreless in the first quarter. Gatehouse wants it back at the top. He's got deep range. Hout for 3. And tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Vickery. It's going to stay on this end with the Sabres. Anthony Davis in the game as head coach Chris McDonald barks a play call with 1:25 to go, first quarter. Gatehouse into the paint, draws the contact. Matt Walters didn't like the call, but it is the third team foul on the Mustangs with 1:17. Gatehouse skips it out to Davis near midcourt. Boy, this Myers Park defense, they have been suffocating in the first quarter so far. Page throws it away. It's a steal. Awosanya with the steal. And he stepped on the sideline out of bounds, and he'll give it back to South Meck. 52 seconds remain, first quarter. Gatehouse off a screen. Can't knock it down. Offensive board, Davis. It's a jump ball, though, is the call. Arrow's going to keep it here. Davis thought he'd pull it away freely. It's going to stay on this end with the Sabres. Get it inbounds to Yet. He stepped on the whistle and a foul comes in. Little shove in the back, and they're going to get Jack Hudson. That's his first. Team foul number 4 on the Mustangs. Gatehouse on the step back 3. Can't hit. Gatehouse is 0 for 5 from the field in this first quarter. Vickery, good find to a cutting Mac Walters. And Davis tried to save it, but it trickles out of bounds on the far sideline. It'll be Mustangs ball with 25.6 exactly on the game clock here, first quarter.
Mustangs played an excellent first period. First quarter.
Suffocating on defense, no doubt. Going to keep it in the hands of Vickery here with 9 on the timer. Vickery surveys, he'll pull it for 3. Cash money. 2 seconds at the horn. Good if it goes. It's short from Pierce Page. 14-3. Mustangs lead it after 1. We'll be right back on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. (14-3) first quarter for the Myers Park Mustangs as we come back to you on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Kendall Lewis, DeAndre Hunt on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Vickery nearly had it poked free. Hall saves the day for Myers Park. Big block underneath. Luke Gavings swats it away, turns it back, and Myers Park will keep possession and hit the reset button. Jamison had it denied at the rim again.
That was a great block by Ben Hoop.
Boy, 2 blocks here for Luke of South Meck. Gavings, a couple of blocks here. Hall driving in, finishes. 16-3 lead for the Mustangs. Got to get Gatehouse going if you're the Sabres. 21 points a night, and he was 0 for 5 from the field. This one thrown into the backcourt. And they say deflected. And turnover on the baseline. Walters steps in front of the passing lane. Jamison spins and finishes.
Man.
It is all Myers Park here in the first half.
It's an amazing spinning finish by Jamison there.
And Gatehouse stepped back court. I'll tell you what, you look at this Myers Park team. Dory Hines, in his first year as the head coach, this is their third head coach in 3 years. And a team that is just 4 years removed, well, really 3 years removed from a state championship, as Hall buries it from three.
He got 5 this quarter already.
Spinning to the hoop. It's an offensive foul. And a technical has been issued on Mac Walters after he took the charge. We'll take a second look. And I don't know what exactly Mac Walters said that warranted the technical. It may be because he stepped over the player that was on the baseline. I think that might be what they got him for. And this is big for South Meck. You got to get something going here. It kind of silences the crowd a little bit as Ben Hoopt knocks down his first. And Haupt's second one is up and through as well. So South Meck knocks down both free throws. And they'll get the basketball out of bounds here. Jim Gatehouse is on the bench for Chris McDonald's crew. Foster, pull up Jay. It's good. Reason Foster gives Chris McDonald a reason to keep him on the floor coming off the bench.
Gets a foul there, though.
That's a big bucket for Foster, the senior. He picks up a foul on the other end, but mini 4-0 run for the Sabres as Gatehouse goes back to the scorer's table. Cash Hall into the paint, wild shot. Yet pulls down the rebound for South Meck. Pull up three, Houts short.
Hout's going to make one of those tonight, man. He is a 40-plus three-point shooter.
Vickery just bullies his way to the rack for two. Boy, Thomas Vickery, I think one of the most impressive parts of his game is his ability to use his body to shield defenders off at the rim. Foster in the paint. Oh, nice step through. Reason Foster. 4 points in the last 2 minutes off the bench for South Meck. 23-9, Mustangs lead. Awosanya had it jarred loose by Foster from behind. Out of bounds, back to South Meck.
Reason Foster is giving this group some energy.
He's been the spark plug here. They trail it by 14, but a little bit of life on that South Meck bench now. I think if you're Coach McDonald of South Meck, you look at the score right now. You've been dominated in this first half so far. You trail it by 14, but your 21-point per game score is scoreless. Now you got to think that Gatehouse is going to get going here at any moment. Can South Meck get back in this? Yet gets it to Anthony Davis. He'll bring it across the timeline. Gatehouse. They switch Vickery on him off the screen. Gatehouse driving to the rack. Oh, score the basket and the foul. And there he is. One of the top scorers in the Charlotte metro area. Uses his body to finish.
It's Max Azevedo with his first foul tonight.
Gatehouse trying to complete the three-point play. Can't do so. Out of bounds. This will go back to Myers Park. Jamison, he'll pull it from three. Long, and Davis skies for the rebound. Gatehouse wants it. Gatehouse pulls it from three. You betcha. Look out, folks. Gatehouse starting to heat up here. It's down to single digits. Underneath, they dump it. Awo Sanya couldn't finish, but he'll head to the free throw line to shoot two. This should take us to a media timeout with 3:38 left to play in the first half. We'll be right back on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. (23-14). Mustangs lead it over the South Meck Sabres. We'll take a look at that last foul right before the timeout. Awo Sanya will head to the free throw line to shoot a pair for Myers Park. And for those of you that are just tuning in, this was an 18-3 start for Myers Park. How about an 11-5 run by South Meck? And Jim Gatehouse, who scored through the contact and then came back down and knocked down a three for the Sabres, has 5 quick points. And all of a sudden, the deficit's down to single digits here. And Awo Sanya misses the first free throw. Second one's up and through. Lead back up to 10 for Myers Park.
I was interested on a free throw. It's only the second quarter, but Myers Park had no one down there virtually.
Get it in the hands of Gatehouse. Gatehouse going to slice in this time. And he's fouled from behind. I'll tell you what, this kid, Jim Gatehouse, so fundamental. Watch his footwork. And we mentioned he draws a double team on virtually everybody they play. He's averaging almost 21 points a game. He's a really good passer. I think that kind of goes underrated about his game. He needs virtually no space at all. He's got a quick release. Reason Foster. He had a couple of buckets off the bench.
Took 2 steps there.
Yeah. Matt Walters was right there. Boy, Walters got teed up a while ago from the Mustangs, and that kind of shifted the momentum. Walters, deep three off the back iron. Tapped right in the hands of Hall. He'll try it from distance.
Man, Reason Foster is out there hustling, man.
Here comes Gatehouse in transition. Gatehouse spins. Got knocked to the floor.
No call.
Missed it with the left hand. Walters from deep again. Long rebound is tracked down by Hayes. Myers Park going to reset. Vickery trying to drive in. Gatehouse to steal. Gatehouse gives it up. Davis lays it home.
It's Davis' first bucket of the night.
Hall driving in. Hall through the contact, couldn't finish. It's a whistle and a foul on Myers Park with 1:46 left to play in the first half.
It's going to be on Jack Hudson.
I'll tell you what, a three right here cuts it down to 5. Foster looking. Hout sizing up Walters. Quick crossover dribble. Foster, he'll try the corner three. It's long. Rebound with 1:05 left to play. Vickery gets bumped. Trying to attack the rack.
It's going to be Jim Gatehouse's first foul.
It comes here at the 1:03 mark of the second quarter. And a timeout, Myers Park. We're going to keep it right here on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Folks, here's a look at the 8A state rankings right now. West Charlotte over that MEC Power 6 conference that is loaded from top to bottom. They're the top team in the 8A classification right now. And Myers Park, 16-7, ranked 6th in this Big 32 classification, as they call it. And how about Mike Kraft? His Ardrey Kell team this year has been really good as well. Julius Chambers, you look at that record, 13-10. And DeAndre, we had them a couple of weeks ago. That is a very talented Chambers team. Ignore the record. They've got a couple of new players in the second half of this season, and they are a totally different team now. And playing in arguably the best conference in the state, that MEC Power 6, when you look at the metrics and the strength of schedule with North Mac and Butler and Independence and West Charlotte, Chambers and Mallard Creek. That is a loaded conference. Bucket in the foul for Rucker Jamison.
It's a good job by Rucker Jamison getting that pass down low, being patient. The shot fake gets the tough bucket there.
He's got a chance to complete a three-point play. That is a momentum killer if you're South Meck right there. Gets it back to a double-digit lead. Less than a minute to play. Gatehouse surveys the floor. Parker skips it, corner three. Chudger can't knock it down. He's just a freshman, seeing a little bit of time here late in the first half. Score the bucket and the foul. Awo Sanya for two and a chance at three.
Yeah, Awo Sanya gets in there. He was open. Parker comes to rotate and fouls him.
Completes the three-point play this time. 13-point Myers Park lead. Long skip pass. Yet, short floater rims out. Well, Connor Yett's got to convert on those. South Meck did a nice job of skipping it away from the double team. They are keying in on Gatehouse. Pull-up jumper, no. Rebound Gatehouse, 4 seconds. Gatehouse accelerates to the rack, can't finish. And the first half comes to a close. 29-16. Myers Park with a 13-point lead. We'll be back on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week right after these messages. It's a 13-point Myers Park lead here at the break over South Meck in the regular season finale here in the Greater Charlotte Conference on this Friday night in Charlotte, North Carolina. Myers Park jumped out to an 18-3 lead. South Meck weathered the storm and cut it to single digits down to 7, and then it was back and forth where it hovered about 9 or 10, 11, and finally Myers Park made it a 13-point first half advantage. Let's take it down over to Butler High School, where Jack Taylor is with Butler head coach Patrick King.
Coach King, thanks for talking with me.
Absolutely, appreciate you being here.
So just tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into coaching?
Grew up in Michigan. My dad was a high school basketball coach. I was never the athletic or the big enough one to really play at the level I wanted to play at. So I got into coaching with my dad when I was in college. Always loved the game, always wanted to be around it. And when I ended up moving down here, I was very fortunate. I didn't know anything about Charlotte. I applied to the whole district and ended up getting hired at Butler, which was an extremely fortunate landing spot, really good basketball spot for me. So just feel really fortunate to have ended up here in the position I'm in.
You said you didn't know anything about Charlotte. What drew you to this area?
Hated the winter, which is ironic given that we've had snow the past 2 weekends, but wanted to get out of the winter. Ended up, Charlotte Mecklenburg was at our job fair at Michigan State, and they offered me an interview to come down, and I said, all right, well, let's do it. So they were south. I knew they were warmer, and I wanted to be in a bigger city than I grew up in, so really glad to end up here.
Let's jump right into it. You talked about it, the weather. Yeah. As a coach and in high school, how has this impacted the middle of your season?
It's been really bizarre. Was just talking to our guys yesterday. We hadn't practiced for 2 weeks prior to yesterday, so we had gone 13 days without a practice, which is really unique. I've never been in a situation like that. And so we played 2 games on Thursday and Friday with no practice. We went 5 days after that with no practice. So we lost both games last week, and it was challenging. We're in a really tough conference where we feel like one of our advantages is our preparation. And so we've been trying to get creative with how we're doing that, but it's been tough. And our guys have responded well. They'll organize getting together and going to compete at the Y or whatever that looks like. So we've had to get creative, but I think it's made for a really unique season, and one that I think we're going to be ready to go once the playoffs start.
You've been here at some capacity for over a dozen years, head coach for about 5 years, I believe you said. Getting thrown into this conference, we knew what it was going to do for football. Yep. Talk about the competition that you've been put in for basketball.
Absolutely. When there was talks of this conference being made, our coaching staff was really excited about it. We're a school who us Independence, Charlotte Catholic, East Meck had been in a conference together with some other schools, and we had been kind of competing against each other for a while towards the top of that conference. And we're getting thrown into a conference with North Meck, with Chambers, with West Charlotte, with Mallard Creek, schools that have had a lot of success over the last decade in Charlotte and in the state. And really, we wanted to find a group of guys that were ready for that challenge every night. And every single night, you're going at it in an elite environment. Like, these road environments are awesome. Every night is a well-prepared team, athletic, and just the depth from top to bottom of this conference. You got to be excited for every game you're going at every night.
You get thrown into this conference, you know what it's going to have when it gets to it. How much more important did that make that 8-game win streak that you had in your non-conference?
Yeah, starting off the season the way we started it really well. I think it gave our guys a lot of confidence and a lot of, we needed to see what we can do across the schools around us and getting off to a really good start. And our guys did a great job of fighting through adversity early and finding ways to win games. And I think that has really benefited us, again, with how difficult some of these environments are, how talented some of these teams are. And even when a team goes on a run, is how are we regaining our composure and really able to try to get over the hump and punch back.
You've had, you were with a dynamic head coach as an assistant. You obviously said you shadowed your father when you were in college. Who have you really pulled from as inspiration for your coaching style?
Absolutely. My dad was my biggest inspiration growing up, and I'm fortunate enough, my dad is actually down here, and he is actually on our coaching staff this season. So that's been kind of a dream come true, is growing up, idolizing him as a basketball coach and being able to coach with him. And then when I got down here, Coach Kirby was here for a year. Got really fortunate. Coach Myron Lowry got the job here, and being able to coach with him for the amount of time I did, he really helped shape my basketball philosophy. Kurt Wessler, LJ Johnson were 2 guys that were on staff here. And then the guys on my staff right now, like Coach Kuhn, who's my top assistant, he's done a tremendous job. And I just, moving down here knowing no one and literally having no connections in the basketball world, and being fortunate enough to end up at Butler around all of those guys and be able to work with them and pull from them, there really could not have been a better landing spot for me. So I'm extremely grateful to all those guys.
Absolutely. You talk about working with your dad. I know firsthand that it can be a headache or it can create some magical moments.
Absolutely. And he's, he just said, what can I do to help? I'd love to be a part of it. And our guys have embraced him. He loves being here every day. And he's a retired teacher and coach. So, I just know he's kind of living his dream right now. So it is great.
Absolutely. Coach King, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Myers Park leads by 13 here at halftime. It was great catching up with Coach Patrick King of Butler. He's got the Bulldogs running here in the second half of the season. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. Jim Gatehouse, only 5 points in the first half. He missed his first 5 shots. They sat him down for a moment, DeAndre, and he came back. He had a nice and one and hit that 3. And then the Mustangs with a couple of buckets there to finish out the second quarter to get it back to double digits. South Meck, who started out the game trailing 18-3, was able to cut it down to single digits, and it hovered around that 9, 10, 11-point range before Myers Park ultimately ended up closing out the first half, leading by 13, 29-16, the halftime score. We've got the third quarter coming up right after this on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week, presented by WCCB TV. Welcome back to BahakelSports.com on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Kendall Lewis alongside DeAndre Hunt as we come back to you for the start of the second half between Myers Park and South Meck. And DeAndre, you got to be impressed with the way that Myers Park defended in the first half. They were active in the passing lanes. They got deflections. They held South Meck to just 3 points in the first quarter. And Myers Park is so stingy defensively in that first half. Can they keep that up, that intensity up in the second half? Going to be a big thing to watch. And can South Meck get Gatehouse going early and often in his third quarter? Connor Yett will try a 3 right off the bat, swirls around the rim and falls. We mentioned Connor Yett, an inside-out forward, and he buries it to start the third quarter. That's a big 3 to start the second half for the Sabres. Oh, Gatehouse rejects Jamison.
Jamison's been really good this first half and just goes into Gatehouse's house and gets swatted out. It's crazy.
It was a nice move out top by Jamison, and Vickery gets hacked on the arm and fouled.
Reason Foster.
Vickery trying to back his way in on Foster and lays it home. Boy, Thomas Vickery at 6'6". We touched on it in the first half, but he uses that body as a shield at the rim as good as anybody in the Charlotte metro area. And Parker drains it from 3. Couple of 3s by the Sabres to start the second half. Foster with a deflection. Vickery, he'll launch from 3 and hits. Thomas Vickery shows off the range. Gatehouse picks up his dribble, turns it over. Jamison, the lob, and the slam. Up top for Awo Sanya. Haupt for 3, off the mark. Offensive board, tracked down by Reason Foster. He'll take it up strong, no. 3 chances for the Sabres, and Foster gets fouled from behind.
Yeah, man, it was crazy alley-oop. Goes down there, hits Ayo also.
Well, Myers Park's got a couple of those guys with Awo, Sonia, Vickery that you can lob it at the rim. They'll go get it. We've seen that on display tonight. Gatehouse had it knocked out of his hands, last touch by the Mustangs.
Man, that trap on Gatehouse is insane.
You mentioned Gatehouse. He's used to the attention. And Hout missed everything on the three.
Hout's having a rough night tonight.
Jamison. Oh, good drop off. And the flush. Awo Sonia on a wreck attack.
It's his third dunk of the night.
Sabres really need a bucket here. Gatehouse, extra pass, Parker. Oh, he missed everything on the three. Connor Yet got knocked to the floor. And I believe
second tee.
There's a technical foul. It's been called on Mac Walters. He's going to be ejected. Let's take a look at that. He knocked Connor Yet to the floor, then had something to say. Not quite sure what led up to that. That's the second technical foul on Mac Walters.
He's still in the game right now, it looks like. How about this? Another dunk from Ayo Asano.
And Gatehouse hits on the second. And Walters is still on the floor right now. We saw him get the technical foul along the baseline. I'm pretty sure that was the technical that was on Walters along the baseline. Apparently it's not. They must have called that tee on someone else in the first half, but because Mac Walters is still on the floor, pickpocket from behind. Sabres with a little bit of life here. Howe for three, short, rebound Gatehouse. He'll take it up, a smooth finish, and the foul.
Yeah, man, Gatehouse just gets that rebound and drives in, knowing it is his, man.
Gatehouse a chance to complete a three-point play. Misses again, wow. Jim Gatehouse has missed 3 free throws tonight, a rarity at the charity stripe for the 21-point score. He's a kid that really gets to the line a lot. A shuffle of the feet and a travel on Jamison. Howe takes the inbound. Pressured by Walters up the sideline. Howe. It's fouled by Walters.
Howe kind of blows past him and gets tangled up there a bit by Walters. Didn't really have to do it. Iwasano was looking to send that thing.
Walters is going to have a seat. Well, Mac Walters is a spark plug for Myers Park. And one of their top defenders. He's got to have a seat. Howe looked at the three. He'll spin down the baseline. Can't get it to go. And then picks up a frustration foul. I'll tell you what, this is kind of that pivotal point, DeAndre, where South Meck, 4:20 to go in the third quarter. Can they get over the hump here? Just hanging around. Vickery drives in. He'll draw the foul. And it comes in against Anthony Davis. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Vickery looking to take him to the hoop. Anthony Davis just gets his hand in there. Thought he had all ball, but he didn't.
Well, Mustangs are a tough team to come back on and erase a double-digit deficit from with how well they defend. We've seen that on display tonight.
Yeah, that three-point first quarter, that was great defense.
Second one's up and through for Vickery. Gatehouse finds Yett on the screen and roll. Oh, good pass. Connor Yett to Charlie Parker for two. Jamison on the pull-up. It spins out. Connor Yett, big rebound, and he's fouled from behind. And that'll take us to immediate timeout with 3:43 left to play on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. We'll be right back after these messages. Things starting to get a little bit interesting here with 3:43 left to play in the third quarter on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. And I tell you what, multiple times tonight it's looked as if Myers Park might run away with it, especially jumping out 18-3. And Connor Yett is going to be at the charity stripe for the South Meck Sabres. And I'll tell you what, I don't know that this kid gets enough credit on the things that he does, the little things that he does for this South Meck team. He knocks down the first free throw. He's gotten to the line multiple times tonight. He's had some really big rebounds. He made a great pass, finding Charlie Parker on the backside just a moment ago, going back before the timeout, that resulted into a nice assist for Connor Yett in a 10-point game. Vickery, the skip, three ball on the way. Long, Davis the rebound. Gatehouse wants the baseline, sealed off nicely by Vickery. He'll step back on the three. Oh, it's good!
Oh,
Jim
man.
Gatehouse, hand down, man down.
That was a crazy little 360 step back.
You can't give him an inch of space, and he makes Myers Park pay. Jamison spinning inside. Tough finish over the top of Reason Foster. Gatehouse wants it again. Heat check. Oh, it spins out. Vickery trying to get downhill. Vickery attacking. Blocking foul called on Connor Yett.
Yeah, try to get the charge. Just doesn't get his feet set quick enough. Gets caught in the lane.
That was close. And Thomas Vickery is going to go to the free throw line to shoot a pair for the Mustangs. Rattles in the first free throw. Myers Parks weathered the storm in their own right tonight. South Meck actually led 1-0 to start the game early. It's been all Myers Parks since, and Vickery gets the roll in the second. Lead is back up to 11. Davis trapped at midcourt. Reason Foster picks it up in the backcourt for South Meck. Foster trying to do a little too much. Had it swiped away, and then he picks up a foul.
This is so detrimental to South Meck here.
.226 left to play. Rucker Jamison at the line. Misses short on the first. Missed the second, and out of bounds goes Jalen Hayes, and this will go back to South Meck. You know, DeAndre, I think if you're South Meck right here, you try to close out this third quarter. Can you get this thing, finish out the third and have this thing in single digits? Maybe get it to 6 or 7 and make something happen in the fourth. And a hand check called on Azevedo. It's Azevedo's first personal foul. And it's going to send the Sabres to the line. Both teams are in the bonus the rest of the way. Man, these are big here.
Howell is not having a good night tonight.
Misses on the first. Second one's up and true. 1 of 2 at the charity stripe. Thomas Vickery will control the rock. Hall looked at the three. He'll pass it up. Hayes in the corner, nowhere to go. And Hall lost it out of bounds. There's some miscommunication.
South Meck's got to capitalize now. This is their chance. This possession here, get it down to a single digit.
Trying to post Gatehouse up inside on the smaller Jalen Hayes. Connor Yet. Kick ball called. And a substitution, Rucker Jamison is going to check in for Thomas Vickery with 1:42 to play third quarter. House bumped off his spot. Yet, good shot fake. He'll pull up long two. Missed everything. Lead feet ahead.
Number 4 on the night. Got the crowd.